Hi everyone, at this point I'm going to show you how to actually cut on your Cricut and draw on your Cricut. So first thing I want to show you is a couple mats. So the mats look like this. They have a little plastic on top of them so that it doesn't stick to everything else, but they are sticky. There are different types of mats. So there's light grip, medium grip, strong grip, and fabric grip. And they say that on the actual mat so you know which one to use for different materials. So those materials are used on the specific mats, and don't use a different material on a different mat. So this is the Cricut design, or the Cricut maker itself. You'll notice a few things that look just like ours. The wheel is something that is not on ours though. So this is the cutting tool. Well, you'll insert that in clamp B. This is where the writing tool will go. That will go in clamp A. You'll see these little markers right here. That's where your mat will slide underneath to guide it. These are little trays that you can open up, and all these tools are stored in those trays. So just to kind of go over those, there is this little scraper tool to help you get your materials off, or the extra material off. You have a scissors in there. You have a little grabber in there. There is a pick if you need to scrape at things. This is a better kind of spatula to scrape things off. And this is a kind of like a pressure tool to draw in creases. You would put this in instead of a pen. So those are all in there sitting if you need to use them. This is what a pen would look like. They are made for the Cricut specifically. However, I think there's some ways we can rig up to use a normal utensil. You'll notice an arrow on these things because that arrow has to be pressed in to the machine. A few other points. There's a load button, there's a pause button, and there's a go button. And then the power button is back here. So let's just get started into actually making something. So at this point, my Cricut is plugged into power, my Cricut is plugged into my computer, and it is connected. It has made the connection. So it will say that, or you'll have to select it up here. I will be drawing, and then I will be cutting. So the paper I'm going to select is copy paper because that's what I put on to my grid right here, and I lined it up just like like it says in the corners. And I think cardstock is better, but I'm just going to try it with copy paper since that's what I have. So then I will go to the next prompt, which says load tools. It prompts me to load the black tip pen, which is right here. So when you load this into the clamp, you need to make sure you do a couple things. First, open the clamp. And then once you open the clamp, you need to push down on the pen while pushing up on the bottom of that white piece that is now showing in the clamp until you hear this go click and the arrow is no longer visible. And then clamp it back shut. It says we don't have to have a tool in clamp B yet. I already have the cutting tool in there. So just to show you what that looks like, it looks like this. So make it a little bit bigger, very, very tiny blade right there. So I'm going to have that loaded already so I don't have to do it again. All right, so at this point, the machine is prompting me to load the mat. So the mat I'm going to put underneath those sliders so it lines it up, and then I'm going to press it against the rollers. So make sure you're pressing it against the rollers, and you're going to hit this double arrow button, which should be flashing, which loads the material, the mat. It's going to orient itself, and then this green C, sorry, it should just be a flashing C, is going to be ready to go. So you're going to press that, and the Cricut will start the draw. It'll show you the mat. It'll kind of orient itself, and then it will start drawing. Once it's done drawing, it will prompt you to unload it. So I will be unloading it now. You can see square drawn right there. Next, it wants us to load the fine point blade in clamp B, which I already have done. So I'm going to go ahead and hit the load button so it loads that. And then we're going to hit the flashing go button again to cut. It's prompting me to unload the mat, and the green double arrow is flashing, so I'll do that. And then it is done. It'll tell you to connect the machine again, but you don't need to. So this is what I'm left with right here. You can't tell that anything is cut because the cut was made on the exact same spot as the draw. So to peel this off, the best way I've been told to do that is to really bend your paper and then make sure the paper you're peeling off is the thing that's staying flat. Don't bend it like this. Put this down. I don't know if I can show you. I'll try my best. Put it down so it's flat, and then you're peeling the blue off. So that's what you want to do, so then your paper doesn't curl like it is right now. So keep this completely flat. When you do that, pull all this off. Sorry about that. So when you start to peel your paper off, it will leave the thing that you want to be there that you cut out. So this is the thing you have to be careful about. You might have to use a couple tools to get that off and scrape it. I tend to use this one a lot. Maybe you have to use the pick a little bit to get it off. I tend to use the scraper tool to get out all my excess stuff like this paper or the cutouts from letters. So peel that off the way you want it. Just make sure you don't curl it so then you get the thing that you want. When you're all done and you have everything off, make sure you put the clear plastic back on your mat so it's not sticking to everything. And then shut the machine off, disconnect it, and power it down so that's ready for the next person to use. So that should be all that you need for the Cricut.